Today is a very exciting day because I'm starting my own business. Let me give you some information on the journey that brought me here. We have to go back all the way to 2022. At the beginning of 2022, I applied for an art study, for drawing to be specific. Right before the summer of 2022, I heard that I was not selected for the art study. Meanwhile, I had some big plans for the summer of 2022 because I went on a road trip with a friend and an old classmate of mine to the US. I got the news literally 2 days before we were about to fly to the US to do the road trip. Of course, I was a bit panicking because after the summer of 2022, I wanted to study again, but I didn't know then what to study because my access was like declined or I was not selected for the art study. Then came the trip. In the US, I realized something. I was taking so many pictures with my phone and with this thing here, with my GoPro. I was taking videos, photos with this, with my phone. I took so many pictures and I really like taking pictures, but in the end I never did something with it. I always took them, I had like so many pictures. I even recently checked on my phone the dates and stuff and how many pictures I ever took. So I never really deleted anything from my phone. And I went back and I checked how many pictures I took and I talked a bit with a friend of mine and yeah, I really had an interest in photography. So decided on the trip, or let's say a bit on the trip, and when I was back that I wanted to do photography. So in that trip in the US, I really got an interest in photography because of this thing, also for videos, because I like making videos. And I always took pictures on vacation or something with my phone, and I never really did anything with my pictures that I had or the videos. I decided back then, you know what, let's go for it. I bought my first camera. I applied for a basic photography study, so I got to know the camera and photography. So when I came back from my trip, I went to the store after researching, of course, some stuff on the internet and what I preferred myself. I ended up buying this one, the Sony A7 Mark III. For me, it's an amazing camera. Still use it till this day. Not with this lens that's on there right now. I bought it in a bundle with this one, this tiny lens. This is a 50mm 1.8 and you cannot zoom, it's a prime lens. And I really like this lens. When I got it in the beginning, I did my whole first study with this. And yeah, I really liked it. And it made me even like fall in love with photography even more. Also working with this thing, amazing. Fast forward 3 months, because my study was 3 months, it was only the basics for photography. I ended up graduating my first study. Meanwhile, while doing this study, I realized I like photography and I want to do something more with this. But this was only a basic photography study, or yeah, it's just the basic, like get to know your camera, get to know like how to use it, what to do with it, what can you do with a camera, think about ISO, about your f-stop, your shutter speed, like it was the basic of the basic. So after this study, or meanwhile while I was still doing the study, I was checking on the internet, is there like a follow-up on this study? Because photography is not really a big thing that you can study. You cannot just go to a uni and say, oh, I'm gonna do photography. Maybe they are there, like the studies are there, and in the end I found one in Rotterdam. In Rotterdam they had the study professional photographer. For me there was only one big thing. I was already working, let's say 4-5 days a week, like full time, because I finished my sports study and I already had like a sort of student job that turned into a normal job. So what do? Like I'm also already in my 20s and yeah, I have also bills to pay. So what I found with this professional photography study, that it was once every 2 weeks. For me, an amazing solution, because I could still work and then once every 2 weeks I could go do this study and build more like knowledge for myself and get to know more about photography and study more photography. At this study I decided that it was time for an upgrade. Yet, not for this lens, but for the one that I have here. This is a 2470 G Master 2 Sony lens. Basically my first zoom lens. And something they taught us at the second study that I did is that, like, there's this saying, marry the glass and date the body. What they mean by that is that there's so much progression with the camera bodies nowadays that it's insane to keep up with all the new technology. Meanwhile, that your glass, the lens or the object, what they mean with this saying, like marry the glass and date the body, it's basically that, like, nowadays the progression with the brands is going so quick for the bodies that, yeah, it's hard to keep up, and it's also really expensive to keep up with getting new bodies every time when they come out. Meanwhile, with glass, with the lenses, they stay well, like, over time. Like in 10 years I can still use this lens, and like it's still 2.8 f2.8, like 2470. It does the same. And with this camera body, like right now, there's already like the R5, and I think they're hinting on the new Sony A7 IV coming out maybe this end of the year or next year, but there are a lot of hints right now that this new body is coming out. And this is a body from, I don't know, 2012. I will put it on screen because I don't know for sure. But this is the Mark III, and we are already at the Mark V, like, pretty quick. At this study in Rotterdam, I got to experience a lot of types of photography. We went in depth into studio, into food. We got so many tips in like fashion and different types of photography. And I really started to get like my interest in what do I like and what is like not really my interest in photography. For me, it was more that I want to be out there. I want to be like going to places, travel to places, take photos there. Like, for me, the studio aspect of photography is just less appealing than going out and do like travel photography, or like what I'm focusing on right now, automotive photography, because I really like cars, and you get to experience like different types of cars, different type of locations. The study that I did in Rotterdam took 2 years, and I graduated in the beginning of this year, 2025. After that, I did some projects, some tiny jobs, and I didn't really had something as a business. I came up with a name, and I still had my camera, so I could do tiny gigs and work on my portfolio. Doing so with like these tiny projects, I could grow my portfolio. With these tiny projects, I could build my portfolio. What I'm still doing till this day, like when I go out with my camera and I take pictures, I'm still building my portfolio and building my experience, because photography is like a thing that you have to do to like improve and like get better at it and just understand more and more. It's not something like if you sit behind your desk all the time, like you can get a bit rusty. Fast forward to today. Today I am really registering my business. From starting my interest in photography, studying about it and finishing my study, to doing small projects and more projects, to really starting my own business.